All right, everyone. Good morning. This is Brent Barbara. I am Vice President of Client Solutions here at M5 Networks. Looking at the attendee list, I've spoken with several of you, and it's good to talk to you all again. Some new names here on the list, and just very excited to be here today to introduce our new M5 Contact Center 2.0. So some of you have been with us quite a while. I want to thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your feedback, because what we're about to show today is the product of really your feedback. We thrive on your feedback. We've built the product based on your feedback in mind, and today we're going to unveil some of what we've built today, and that will come live next Thursday night into the wee hours of Friday morning for you and all of your agents. So let's look at the agenda we have today. We're going to review the enhancements. I'm going to go through one by one what we put into this release. I'm going to give you a live demonstration of the new agent portal and actually show what we've done. We're going to talk about what to expect on the evening of the 28th into the morning of the 29th. I'm going to talk about active service, what that means for M5 and what we're going to launch today, kind of as a beta prototype with y'all. And then we'll end with some questions in the wrap session. At the end, as I said, we're going to take some questions. I would like you to use the GoToWebinar chat and questions section, which you'd all see in the bottom right-hand corner of your GoToWebinar screen. I'll use that to receive the questions and answer as many as I can with the time allotted at the end. I do anticipate taking probably 45 to 50 minutes. If your questions take us to the full hour, we can do that as well. But that's about what to expect. So let's get right to it. So what's in the upgrade? We've made some significant enhancements to performance. Some of you who have been with us from the beginning may have noticed periodic disconnections of the agent portal back to M5. We've completely re-architected the solution. The APIs that power the solution have been recreated. We've got backup for backups. We believe you will not see any disruptions in the future. So thanks again for hanging with us there. You're going to like what you're going to see. We built a new user interface. The interface, although it has a lot of similarities to the general composition of what's in production today, it is rebuilt from the ground up. It's using Flex, which you might have seen a notification on your current login page. But it is a new interface with several enhancements. We've moved forward with our active alerts. There have been some alerts in the system, but they've been minimal and they haven't worked so well. In the system you're about to see, version 2.0, we have email alerts, color-coded alerts, and a whole set of audible alerts to give you and your staff notifications, more of a proactive approach to managing service within the business. We've also made some enhancements to our reporting interface. This has been a great feature that we are happy you've all used. We've taken your feedback in mind and added additional reports and created a richer environment with charting and tabular formats. We've also put in place a better way to control access to certain content within the portal. So in the community, we've got agents, we've got managers, and we've got power users. And some of our clients, some of the names I see here, have asked us to, say, suppress certain information for some of your agents, or maybe you want to show everything to everyone on your team. We've got better ways to control that, and I'll be able to demonstrate that in a moment. And for a few of you who have taken on the call recording premium solution, we have put forth in this release a much better way to retrieve these calls, search for these calls, play them, and in fact download them one by one onto your local clients and share with the team. So this is the first of many call recording enhancements we're doing, but we wanted to bring it to the call center community first here. Here we go. So this is what you have on your desktop now. This is the old interface, which we've branded as the call center, kind of an informal call center in some ways. And now in with the new. We're moving toward the contact center model. There's a lot more down the pipe, but this is a much richer, more functional solution with call recording and more. And as part of our rebranding of Call Center or Contact Center 2.0, you're going to hear Contact Center more and more with our release. The first thing I want to highlight here before I show it to you live is between this last version and the current version, there's not much that has changed here on the home page. And generally, the navigation between the two has stayed the same. The biggest difference here for your agents, and we'll be doing some training for them, some documentation for them, is that the personal status, what you see here statically on break, has moved from what was over here. So when they log in the morning, they're going to have to just point their eye over here. But for the agent status or signed in per queue, that stays the same. So we anticipated that there'd be very little training involved in this migration to our Contact Center 2.0. So let's stop looking at a static document and actually take a look at this in real time. So what you see here is the login page, M5 Contact Center. Same way you log in on Thursday next week, you'll log in on Friday morning. You put in your phone number, you put in your password, and your screen here will refresh with your interface. The agent status here is the same agent status you had before. Note up here in the right-hand corner is your personal status, which is on break. And down here, we replaced the drop-down for signed in and sign out with little radio buttons. We think it's a little bit easier, and that was the feedback you all gave us as part of the development effort here. What we've done here on the on-break personal status is we've cleaned up the options. Available is, again, the only status that you need to be in to receive calls, and these additional on-break type statuses from on-break, vacation, out of the office have not changed, although we have removed two statuses that were confusing. It was the available queue only and available non-queue. So those were confusing. They worked, but they were confusing in the field. To make yourself available to take a queue call, you simply change your status. We've updated the feedback mechanism here, processing, a little bit of animation gives you a response that wasn't there before. You sometimes were left questioning, did I change my status now? That's a little clearer. And same down here when you sign into a queue or queues. Same type of feedback. Takes just a second here, and you're good to go. On the settings tab here, this is where you can put in an email address or multiple email addresses for some of the email alerts, which we're going to show. In the service levels view, this is where you can put in the service level percent. This is used in a specific report. It's the service levels report that used to be on one of our tabs, but we blended it into our reporting environment. And then a data refresh rate for reports for multiple queues and any of the dashboards that you can display. And you can select the interval that makes sense for your business. Down here on the bottom in the settings tab is all the fields on all the metrics where you may have set an alert. So I have a whole bunch of alerts here, which I'll come back to, but this is just one way you as an administrator and your agents as well can monitor and manage their individual alerts. I'll click Save. So the composition, the content of this tab is identical. Calls in queue, agent sign in, these are the same fields that were in the last version, but you'll notice here as I hover over, you've got the option to manage alerts. So if I click here, Manage Alerts for Calls in Queue, you can see an alert that I put in, where here, where the value is greater than 1, I change the background to yellow, and here, when the value is greater than 5, not only do I send myself an email, I change the background color to red, and I play a sound file. It's very easy to edit these alerts. So here, when calls in queue is greater than 5, you can change that variable. You can choose from a nice color palette based on what your preferences are. You can play a sound, and there's several sounds here from this sound, which is the value one, to the annoying alarm, if you find that this is your preference. Now, please have some fun with that, but even if you're not looking at your screen, hearing this alert might alert you to, hey, I better go back and log in, not just for the manager, but also useful for the agent. And then down here is where you can enable those email alerts. Not only can you set it up, but you can choose what time and day of the week you'd like to configure that as well. So for your agents, as I think you can see, not much has changed. Some slight enhancements, the replacement of the personal status, but come Friday morning of next week, there isn't much change for the average agent. As I move on to the remaining tabs, the Q metrics, again, very similar to what you had in version 1, but we've put forth that alert capability. So not only can you see by clicking show alerts where you've put those alerts, but here you can also manage those alerts and go through to each and every field and decide, hey, maybe you want to set an alert on average talk time. There's no alerts defined. Hey, in your business, if average calls may exceed 6 minutes, there may be something wrong. Maybe for you, just a nice color-coded alert. Another one of our clients may choose something else, but there's a lot of flexibility here. We encourage you to play with this and have fun. The views haven't changed. The normal view, the pod view, and the heads-up display view are available as well. That hasn't changed at all.